Moon says I chart the seasons. I plot the course of your birth. I am the well of your feelings. I am the house of your dreams. Moon says I am the number 13. I cycle with earth and with sun. I am the weaver of your deepest thoughts. I am the keeper of balance. Moon says I am the door to your death. I illumine the night sky. I am the face behind the mask. I am the rose in your heart. Good evening. Thank you. That was a piece from Moonrise that Ralph was talking about. And Ralph and Steve, thank you for those wonderful words. It's so nice to be here tonight, seeing old friends and meeting new people. Just really delighted to be here. In fact, sometime in the spring, 30 years ago, I gave my very first poetry reading at Living Arts. And so I thought, a 30th anniversary. I remember Alice Price read, and Alex and Roberto Mourinho's uncle, I don't remember his name, he played Koto, and I think Manly Johnson read. It was in an old furniture building, actually Mayo Furniture, which now is where the Performing Arts Center is. But, so this just makes it very, very special. Tonight is going to be very informal and casual. Sam McMichael, a wonderful poet and storyteller from Lawton, was supposed to be here with me, but he is sick with the flu, so I'm sorry he couldn't make it. I've kind of improvised, and I know Ralph has, and so I think we put together a nice evening for you. I'm preparing to make my entrance into the circle. I am preparing my gifts for my friends and my associates, people I work with, people with whom I live. The wind is strong outside. It is the season of the storms and the fires. In the old days, the ceremonies were held in between the storms. There were men and women who could move the clouds. Today, we're all waiting for the weekend. The wind is strong tonight. In the old days, we could smell the smoke on the air, and there were those who would know how far and how big the fire. We would move in another direction. I was married to someone I still name. One of my sisters was his other wife. On Sunday, I will enter the circle for the first time. Tonight, the dry winds are here. It is 5 days since the vernal equinox. Spring has bursted out all over, and the early risers will survive the fires, keep the burnt soil from washing away. Tonight, a storm could be moving in, a big one since the winds are already here. All the beings seek shelter. I am moving toward a circle I I've yet to know. I've been dreaming of dark-haired men with beards for 2 weeks. And it was a surprise when this leather-jacketed man with dark hair, a beard, and nice eyes sat down in the middle seat next to my aisle seat, even though the plane was nearly empty. I'd just spent a month with my father in the cancer clinic, and the gray was showing on my head, and I wasn't wearing any makeup. Then I noticed he was reading the Globe. We chatted for a moment. The O.J. Simpson trial, his topic. I really wasn't interested. I almost moved. I am so used to being invisible. He'd been drinking and I'd been praying for 28 days for a man to lean on. He leaned on me all the way down. We agreed about things about 40% of the time. He punched some of my buttons with his ill logic, and when he told me I was in dangerous waters, I stayed calm and didn't get rabid. He said he smoked, drank, and did some drugs. He said he was an oil tanker captain who had worked in Kuwait during Desert Storm, that he hoped to work in Antarctica this summer, that he was an inventor whose photo had been in Time and in Newsweek once each, and that his ex-wife was Jewish. His brother-in-law is a John Bircher forced to live in Costa Rica. His mother is a libertarian, and he'd been a mercenary in Guatemala in the 70s. He would have preferred to vote for Ross Perot, but voted for Clinton instead. He even asked me a couple of questions about myself. Now, on the runway to my left, I see a Sun jet take off, but we hit the air first. I hope it is his plane to Newark. I hope he did make it on it. I would have liked to have felt his beard on my neck, his breath in my ear. I think his name is Greg. As I fly off into the sunset, I realize he knew I am an outlaw too. Maybe it was all true. Maybe we had known each other some time before. Move on gently out of my sight. Do it in the time you need or desire. Merge with the growing light. I don't want to see you afraid, and I don't want to see you in pain. Move on gently out of my sight. I don't want you to leave me, and I tell myself you won't. Merge with the growing light. Nancy says you're a gentleman of kindness. The world knows she is right. Move on gently out of my sight. It's not that I don't think I'm right, but I weep at the thought of you leaving my life. Merge with the growing light. I think you know we'll all be all right. I think you know we'll carry your vision on. Merge with the growing light. He said, "You stole it. How can we not let you manage it?" Turn right for Geronimo's grave. Turn right to the rubble and landfill pit. That's how the signs read. What some people think is appropriate for righteous rebels frequently disappoints me. There was cold, blowing rain, pieces of sleep. She said this is what they had to walk through after the soldiers killed their horses. The 1,400 screams multiplying into the still, freezing night. "200 miles from Palo Duro to Fort Sill they had to walk. I imagined the chill. For a moment, I felt the colds inside and outside those walkers. I wanted to ease that pain. We shivered in the cold, damp chill. There were many prayers there. It was a sacred place. I took one photograph for the children. I don't know how it will turn out. More than that seemed excessive. I went back to the car. The day I went to Delphi, everything was shrouded in fog. It was simple in its power, that opening into the earth under the stone wall where she drank the liquid and dreamed. They heaped the cobblestones onto his grave as if to keep him from escaping again. If you escaped again, would you start another cosmic inflation, a new galactic exploration, another bing, followed 3 trillionths of a second later by a cosmic whoosh unfolding like a folk, like a laser karaoke of sweet cosmic love. Like the release 3 minutes later of helium, hydrogen, and lithium. Lithium for depressives and bipolar people. Chemotherapy for the soul. An elemental condition too basic to comprehend. We talked about remembering the importance of a respectful sense of proportion, of treating each other with common decency, of placing our feet with care upon the forgiving dirt.